What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is Monday, February 13th, 2023. 11 games on the slate. Prize Picks board is healthy and full. We still are missing, I believe we're missing a few teams. And just looking at the board and doing research, I tried to search someone and their stats were not New Orleans. New Orleans was not pulling up. New Orleans is not on the board right now. And we do not have any Lakers on the board right now. And Wizards. So yeah, so a few teams are missing. That should resolve itself in the next hour or so. Believe we're waiting on Kyle Kuzma news. He was doubtful, now he's questionable. Jeremy Grant also was doubtful, now he's questionable. And then, Lakers. I guess we're waiting on the status of LeBron, but from what I'm reading, he is playing today. He's probable. Maybe he plays and AD sits out. I don't know what's going on there, but they look good. They look like a different team with all those new pieces in the mix. Pulled off that win versus Golden State. So good on them. Let's get this going. So researching has brought me to a couple of players that really stand out across the board. And I just want to dig into it because I believe that we can create quite a few two-pick powers. I think I said two-pick flexes in my last video. There is no such thing as a two-pick flex. So two-pick power. Two-pick power. I wish there was two-pick flexes. That'd be the most popular option on Prize Picks. But two-pick power play. And I want to start with Kyrie Irving, and I want to bring up a few of his props that I believe you can use, and we can go a few different ways with these and help you construct some two-pick powers. So starting off with his points, now his points got bumped up from 24.5 to 25. This is my least favorite now. It was my second favorite, but it is my least favorite. So I would rank this, 3 of 3. Out of the 3 props that we're going to dig into. When it was at 24.5, his line was minus 120. And I don't know what it is on the books now at 25. The second prop I like for Kyrie Irving is over 9.5 rebounds and assists. Now this one has not been bumped up. And currently his points or rebounds and assists is minus 125 to go over. And then his final prop that I like is over 34. Well, not over, but final prop that I like is 34.5 PRA, and this has odds of minus 115 to go over. So for Kyrie Irving, I like the over on all of these. And now let's go to props.cash and let's pull up Kyrie Irving and just look at some of the stats that he's putting up, starting with points that are currently at 25. So let's go ahead and change. Let's change this to 25. And you can see that he's, since becoming a Dallas Maverick, he's right there at 25. Second game against Sacramento, he went over. The 2 games before that in Brooklyn, under. But then he reeled off 6 straight of over almost 30 points in every game. Great matchup versus Minnesota. Pretty poor versus three-pointers allowed, the percentages, free throws allowed, defense versus point guard. I was slightly concerned when looking at this prop because I know Mike Conley is now on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I don't know if that is going to cause any complications with Irving handling the ball. I know Conley's a pretty solid defender, but I honestly don't believe anybody can just stone cold stop Kyrie Irving from doing what he wants to do. Slowing him down, he could still hit 25 points. Now his his rebounds and assists look really good to me. And this is at, like I said, minus 125 to hit the over. But he is clearing this in double-digit fashion, 8 out of his last 10 games. 2 as the Dallas Maverick, over 12 in each game, 13 and up in each game. Just clearing it. This one really stood out to me. And because I like his points and because I like his rebounds and assists, I just dug into his PRA. And again, very similar statistics here. And because he's clearing his rebounds and assists, it does compensate for his lack of points. So let's say he only scores 21 points or 20 points, but he's getting you 13 rebounds and assists, 14 rebounds and assists. Well, that's going to make up for that, because that would make it a 3 to 4 line difference, which would make up for those points he didn't get. So his PRA really stands out to me. The second player that really looks good in terms of multiple props is Nikola Vucevic, and I did mention this yesterday in the early look and research video. Now his points got bumped up to 19. When his points were at 18 and a half, they were minus 130 odds, so I figured they were at some point going to get bumped. But I like his points still. I like his rebounds over 12 and a half. Now this also got bumped from 11 and a half to 12. Those are also at minus 130 odds. And because I like his points and because I like his rebounds, very similar to what we're doing with Kyrie Irving, I also like Nikola Vucevic's PRA, which has not been bumped up as of now. 34.5 PRA. Currently his odds are minus 125 on these three. So let's look at props.cash real quick on Nikola Vucevic. Taking on the Orlando Magic. This game is in Chicago. So Vucevic, 34.5. He's done this. If I can pull up the right stat. Here we go. He's done this in 6 out of his last 10 games. Went 6 straight clearing this. 2 before that didn't clear it. 2 after that didn't clear it. So if this trend holds up, he's about to go on a 5 to 6 game little tear. That will be interrupted by the All-Star weekend, because there will be no basketball played this weekend in terms of just regular season games. But the matchup against Cleveland was tough. That's a tough front court. And he still put up 32 PRA. Something that stood out to me in looking at this Cleveland game also, he scored only 14 points on 13 shots. He's usually taking, like, these last 2 games were low volume shooting nights for Vucevic. 26, 18, 17, 18, 16. Even if he took one more shot, that's an additional 2 points. His assists were very low versus Brooklyn also. I mean, he's giving you 4 assists a game. If he just gave you 2 extra assists, that's 4 extra PRA. That puts him over. The game against Cleveland, he was 32. His prop today is 34.5. If you add 2 more assists and 1 more point, that's 35. You see what I'm saying? It's like very close to hitting his prop. He's not going under by much. That's a tough matchup. Brooklyn, he just didn't have a complete game. Memphis front court, he had a good game. San Antonio front court, good game. Portland, Charlotte, LA, Orlando, 45 versus that Orlando team back in late January. In terms of his points, this is probably my least favorite prop of the 3, but he has had success versus Orlando. In those 3 games versus, or 2 games versus Orlando, is giving you 14 and 26. PRA in those games, 45 and 37. So what he lacked in points in that first game versus Orlando, I believe he made up for in rebounds, 16 and 13. And speaking of rebounds, his prop today is now 12. It was 11 and a half. So let's bump this up to 12. And let me show you what that looks like. Doesn't really change a whole lot. He's either hooking it or he's going over it. Missed it by 1, missed it by 2. Missed the hook by 1, missed over by 2 versus Portland. But in that Portland game, did he hit his PRA? Yes. So I do like his rebounds, but I really like his PRA, 34.5. Hopefully that does not get bumped up. So those are the 3 I like for Vooch. Now, what I'm doing with these is I'm breaking these up based off the odds. And so, for instance, I'm going to team up Kyrie Irving over 9.5 rebounds and assists with Vucevic's points over 19 points. And then I'm going to team up Kyrie Irving's 34.5 PRA with Vucevic's over rebounds at over 12 rebounds. So what I have so far in terms of my two pick powers, got Vooch over rebounds, Kyrie over PRA, one power play there, and then I have Vooch over 19 points, Kyrie Irving 9.5 rebounds and assists. That's my second power play. A few other plays that I have looked at that I'm very interested in that I'm going to be throwing into a 6-man flex, 6-pick flex. Gary Harris over 3-pointers at 1.5. I think that is a good line for him. He's cleared this in 4 out of his last 5 games. Pulling up his 3-pointers now. Gary Harris minus 125 to go over. Last game against Chicago, last 2 games against Chicago, he's only hit 1 3-pointer. Minutes were down in that last game. Only took 2 3-pointers against Chicago that last game. Took 1 in that first game. On the 10-game log here, Gary Harris is attempting 6, 2, 4, 5, 8, 7. So those 2 games against Chicago were kind of a down game for him. If he takes 3 3-pointers, he'll make 2. If he takes 4, he'll probably make 2 to 3. So I like his odds of hitting 2 today versus Chicago. I also like Wendell Carter Jr. over his turnovers. I'm really attacking this Orlando-Chicago game. Wendell Carter Jr. over his turnovers of 1.5. He's gone over this in 7 out of 10 games. Remember, for centers, it's not just turning the ball over like somebody stealing the ball from you. It's offensive fouls, like charges. That's a foul and a turnover. So that counts just the same as if somebody came and swiped the ball. And that's where centers get called for their turnovers, is these offensive fouls. And there's also the possibility of centers handling the ball more than they should and, getting it, having it taken away from them. There's a couple different ways these turnovers can pan out for centers, but I like Wendell Carter over his 1.5. One person who's not on the board as of yet, I don't believe, is Jeremy Grant. Now, Jeremy Grant is clearing concussion protocol, but I have been taking the under on his rebounds and fantasy points the last few games, and it's been working out for me. If he does play today, I can't see him getting 100% like full run. Last time his PRA or his fantasy was set to 35.5, and he finished with like 34.6. Came very close, or 32, I believe. But close isn't good enough. So I like the under on his fantasy if we can get it. And then one player who is on the board is Anthony Simons over assist. Now, this is set to 4.5 on props.cash, but it's 5 on Prizepicks. I like this one. And wait. Type the wrong name in there. Get the wrong prop. So over 5. So he's hooked this in 2 out of his last 5. He's gone over 3 out of his last 5. Playing the LA Lakers. It just looks like a very good matchup for him. It really does. And I just like his prop over 4.5 or over 5. SGA over PRA and free throws made. So SGA over his PRA. I don't know if I mentioned this in my earlier video. 41 PRA versus the New Orleans Pelicans. And then I also like his free throw attempts. New Orleans has given up 20 free throw attempts a game, which is, let's see, New Orleans. So we got free throw attempts, free throw made. New Orleans Pelicans is at 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. 8th in the NBA. 19.7 free throws made. Or they're allowing 25 free throw attempts a game. So I like that for SGA. Those two, I will be putting one of those in a 6-man. I think I already did. And there was one more. Oh, something interesting here. Now, I haven't put these in any slips yet, but Damian Lillard. I'm going in the opposite direction with two of his props. So fantasy free throws made. I like the over on his free throws made versus the LA Lakers tonight. But I like the under on his fantasy. Because Dame scores a lot, but he doesn't give you a lot of peripherals, right? He doesn't give you a ton of rebounds and a ton of assists. So if he's hitting his fantasy score, I mean, he's got to put up 46, 47 points, real points. He's going to get you 3 rebounds, 4 assists, something like that. I just like the under on his fantasy, but he is going to get to the line versus this Lakers team who, much like the Pelicans, cannot keep their hands to themselves, allowing 20 free throws made per game, 26 attempts per game. 78% from the line. So I haven't figured out how I want to put these in my slips, but I just wanted to share that with you all. I found like that kind of interesting because you got one player, 2 props in the opposite direction. And that's going to do it. So constructed a few 2-pick powers with Vooch and Irving. Here's my 6-pick flex. I got Irving over rebounds, assists, Vooch over rebounds, Gary Harris over 3-pointers made, Shea over free throws made, KJ Martin Jr. over 13.5 points. I think I mentioned that guy. I mentioned KJ Martin in my early video. And then Jordan Poole over 25.5 points versus the Washington Wizards. So there's a 6-pick flex for you. I'm only putting $7 in this. 25 exit, 175. And then the other ones, I'm playing increments of $7 here today. Lucky 7. 777. So that's going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by the channel, checking this video out. Do me a favor, leave me a comment below, letting me know who your favorite prop on the board is. Who do you have your eyes on? Who have you locked in? Also, let me know what you think about these picks, these slips that I have already locked in. As you can see, there's no way for me to cancel these. I don't know. I think sometimes people show slips and then take a picture of it and share it, and then they go back and cancel it because you have 5 minutes to cancel your entry. I see a lot of that kind of stuff on Twitter. But yeah, cannot cancel these. These are locked in. So I'm committed to these plays. Yeah, let me know what you think about these picks. Let me know what you think about these slips. Do you like them, hate them, love them? Do you want to leave them alone? Either way, let me know in the comments below. Thank you once again for just chilling out with me, talking some NBA props on this awesome Monday afternoon. And until my next video, tomorrow's early look and research video, Chavez is out.